Longlegs is the newest horror thriller that has been released by Neon. The movie is written and directed by Oz Perkins, son of Anthony Perkins. You don't know who that is, just go watch Psycho. And short story, basically the synopsis, I will say, what this movie is about without any spoilers. It's about an FBI agent on a manhunt for a serial killer. I mean, the reference immediately, once I heard that synopsis, that immediately threw me to say, is this movie going to be a low-budget film of Silence of the Lambs? Thank God it was not. Makia Monroe plays our main protagonist in this movie, and she's, if you don't know where she's from the movie It Follows, though her performance here was a lot better than her performance in It Follows. She plays the FBI agent who is brought on by Blair Underwood's character into this decades-old case. They've been looking for a serial killer for years, and they have no clue about where he is or what he does or why he picks these victims. All they know is that their main clue is that he signs his name on these coded letters with the name Longlegs, hence the title. But once her character gets a hold of this case, she starts putting everything together. She starts figuring out the clues, deciphering the messages, and then finally this case gets motion. There's actually a stretch to say that she's possibly clairvoyant, though that is never confirmed in this movie. Now, what gives this movie its strength is without a doubt the atmosphere and tone here. I mean, this movie gives you a weird feeling of anxiety, and not really a good one, but I mean, it makes you anxious almost like the whole time you're watching it. But then again, this movie plays more on the psychological horror than, of course, on the jump scares, which is actually really good. Though there were a few moments where there were some jump scares that I wasn't expecting, and it's just mainly because of the way the tone and the atmosphere of the movie, it really gets you really makes you so anxious that when a jump scare does come, you're not expecting it at all. And I really like psychological horror films like this because, I mean, they make you start to think and make you start wondering what's going on everywhere. And that, in my opinion, is a far better feeling in a movie than it would be just getting a bunch of jump scares left and right. When it comes to the budget of this film, I heard that it took less than $10 million. But, I mean, the budget really wasn't anything that shocked me with, because this is a very indie film. What actually shocked me, though, was the fact how long it took them to make this movie. From what I heard, the movie was shot between January 16th to February 23rd of 2023. That's a little over a month. That's maybe an extra week. So maybe a month and a week that they put pre-production, shot, and post-production, this whole film, and they delivered this kind of masterpiece. I mean, I don't want to go so far as to say that this was like an epic film, but still, to deliver this kind of a film that was this good in a little over a month, that's still kind of surprising to me. Makia Monroe, of course, like I said, she did an amazing job in this film. Like I said, I think this is a better performance than the one when she did It Follows. But the one who really stood out more than anything to me was, of course, Nicolas Cage in this movie. Alright, if I did not read the cast list like before I went to see this movie, I would have never have known that Nicolas Cage is playing Longlegs, because he looks nothing like himself in this movie. I probably would have been like, the whole time, been like, who the hell is that? But I did know that it was Nicolas Cage, of course, so I knew that he was playing the villain from the start. But even so, seeing him, I was like, that's Nicolas Cage? What the hell did they do to him? He takes weird to a whole new level in this movie. I mean, this character he plays is just so weird, it's just hard to describe. And that's what makes it terrifying. It just ups the anxiety level every time he's on screen. I mean, it's like anxiety to the max, and he just keeps getting more and more intense as the movie goes on, and it just makes the anxiety even more intense. And the fact of the matter is that it's like these are faces and things we've seen Nicolas Cage do a lot, because, I mean, he's got all his memes that we've seen, but it's like they took the memes and turn it into something terrifying. And with that, it's just like, wow, this is just so weird. And it's like, you don't know how to describe this weirdness you see in his character. That's just really what made his character so unbelievably scary. The main problem I had with this movie was the ending. I felt the movie ended abruptly. I mean, the movie was making a lot of, giving us anxiety almost the whole movie, and we're feeling like, oh my god, when is this rope gonna cut and the tension's gonna cut, and everything was like getting so interesting that while we were going on our path with the plot line, and then all of a sudden we start getting close to the ending, and then it just stops, and I'm like, why end it like that? And I'm like, it just feels like they just cut off the movie at the very end with this ending, when there was still some story to tell and have a better finish line than that. And I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna end it like that. That was kind of abrupt. For anyone who does plan to see this movie does move kind of slow. I mean, this movie's not even 2 hours long, but I mean, it still moves a little slow in terms of how long the movie is and the momentum we have going, but it does keep you really intrigued and interested when it comes to the story. And I mean, that's really, I guess you could say hard to do with this kind of story, because, I mean, it's about an FBI agent hunting a serial killer, and I mean, we've seen that story a lot. But this is definitely one of the stories that will be picked out of all movies like that. And it's another great horror thriller for the year 2024, which is, become the year of horror. That's why I'm giving Longlegs here an A-. Wow. Horror just dominating this year. Alright, well, Longlegs, if you guys have seen this movie, please comment here down below what your thoughts were on it. Also, if you like my other videos, you can check out more here on my channel. And always remember to stay epic!